What's up, guys? Tonight's video is going to be more of an accountability post, per usual. Just coming from a bit of a different standpoint, I talked about, I believe, maybe last night or the night before, about how I'm trying to be kinder, and that's obviously been the goal with this channel in and of itself, is to be kinder and just a better individual overall. And tonight, I've been met with here recently. The thing that's been really bothering me and just hard for me to deal with and overcome is being met with somebody who's blatantly incorrect. Like, in every standpoint, you can prove them wrong, and every way that makes sense, every logical way, they can be incorrect and then still stand their ground and being incorrect. And it's obviously not intelligent to engage with conversation with a person who's not willing to see how they could be incorrect from certain standpoints. And I understand that I can definitely be that way myself sometimes, but being on the other end of that, it's very hard to not only engage in that conversation and try to keep the conversation going, but to also make it one that's productive and me not become rude or be just not a nice guy. It's very hard to keep a cool head whenever somebody is blatantly and they're blatantly and intensely disagreeing from a standpoint that is objectively incorrect in like every way you can look at it. And it's not only the fact that it's the incorrectness that's upsetting. It's whenever somebody can be defensive and die on a hill that's incorrect. And I understand that some people are like that, and I can be like that at times with certain subjects where I can be probably objectively incorrect when it comes to just like a 1 + 1 = 3 type of scenario. But I just, being on the opposite end of that stick, it's very hard to try and keep a level head, and that's something that I'm going to try to be better at. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that at this point. This is more so just of an accountability to say that, like, hey, this is the mind space I'm in, or the headspace I'm in. This is where my mind's at, and I know that I'm handling the situation incorrectly, and in the moment I need to be better at keeping a level head and being kinder, just because that's the type of person that I want to be, and not let them get under my skin whenever they are blatantly disagreeing with me on a subject that I can almost, with the utmost certainty, say that I am correct about. And I just have to stop being so focused on being correct, because it's not a healthy mindset to be in, and it's not okay to think that you're right all the time. And not to say that I think I'm right all the time, but there are definitely times where I have been wrong and I think I'm right. So for me to say that I'm objectively correct in this scenario, which I still at this point believe that I am, I just need to do a better job at trying to hear them out. And not only hear them out, like understand, okay, they're incorrect, but why are they feeling like what they're saying is correct? Is it out of, they are embarrassed and they don't want to admit that this is that way, or they are sad, or they are angry themselves, or they have a mental block to where they don't understand how they're incorrect and they truly believe in this? And, I just have to understand that people's brains operate differently, and being kind is always going to get to a better middle ground rather than being angry and responding quickly. I need to get better at just taking a deep breath, thinking about what they're saying to me, and respond in a manner that is level-headed and kind. So that's basically the message. If you're watching this video and somebody's pissing you off and you think that you're completely right, or you even know that you're completely right, and that person is willing to die on a hill of being incorrect, just take a deep breath and understand that being negative is not going to bring anything besides negativeness. Because even if you win an argument in a moment against somebody, if it's somebody that you care about, you're inevitably going to feel worse if you win that argument. If it's somebody that you don't really care about, like not an enemy, but just like a not a close friend, somebody that you I'm trying to think of the word, but whatever, somebody that you don't know extremely well, and you're in a group or social setting and you're able to embarrass them by having a silver tongue and speaking in a very well articulated way and making sense, and almost embarrassing them just by how you're able to speak. And you feel good in that moment. It's like, yeah, I was right, he's wrong, what a dumbass. But then eventually you get to a standpoint where it's like that person's going to build animosity towards you, and it's going to lead to nothing but bad. And you might feel good in a moment, but truthfully, no one cares if you win an argument, no one cares if you lose, no one cares how dumb you look longer than 10 minutes, especially in today's reality with how everything is so short-lived, so short little dopamine spikes, and everything is just here and then gone on a whim. It's very hard to assume that any moment is like something that's set in stone, especially from someone who is not within your close-knit social circle. So at the end of the day, being negative and being aggressive and trying to make your point whenever there's not going to be any type of growth there, make your point, say it in a kind way. If they disagree, just be like, okay, agree to disagree, and then maybe try to still, if it's something that's very, very important to you and are really, really bothering you, try to still interject in ways that is a kind way to do so. So that's basically the message. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and have a blessed one.